1942. Hollywood, California. The most famous woman in the world sits at a piano. Outside, the world is at war. Ships are being sunk. Torpedoes are failing. Radio signals are being jammed by the enemy. Inside, she is inventing the solution. Nobody knows she is doing this. They think she is just an actress. Her name was Hedy Lamarr. And on a quiet evening in Hollywood, she and a composer named George Antheil invented the technology that would one day power Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, and secure military communication for the entire world. They filed the patent in 1941. It was granted in 1942. The U.S. Navy ignored it. Her patent expired before anyone used it. She received no compensation, no credit. And decades later, when the technology became the invisible infrastructure of the modern world, almost nobody knew her name. They had seen the face. They had missed the mind. If she did, you can too. Let's go back. November 9, 1914. Vienna, Austria. Hedwig Eva Maria Kiesler is born into a cultured, intellectual Jewish family. Her father, a bank director. Her mother, a pianist. From childhood she is curious about everything. How things work. Why things are the way they are. She is also, undeniably, extraordinarily beautiful. And the world decides, immediately, completely, permanently, that this is the only thing about her that matters. At 18 she begins acting in theater and film. Her early career brings immediate attention. Not always the kind she wants. At 19 she marries Friedrich Mandl, Austrian arms manufacturer. One of the wealthiest men in Europe. A man who believes his wife is a possession. Mandl hosts elaborate dinners with military officials, scientists, weapons engineers. He wants Hedy present, as decoration. She is not decorating. She is listening. Every conversation about torpedo guidance systems, about radio-controlled weapons, about the vulnerabilities of military communication. She absorbs it all. Behind the face they are all looking at, a mind is recording everything. By 1937 she has had enough. She leaves. She gets to London and reinvents herself completely. She meets Louis B. Mayer of MGM on a ship crossing the Atlantic. He signs her. She arrives in Hollywood in 1938. Within months she is one of the biggest stars in the world. MGM bills her as the most beautiful woman in the world. The label follows her everywhere. It opens every door. And it closes the one that matters most, the door to being taken seriously as a thinker. 1939. Europe is at war. Hedy Lamarr watches the news with the specific distress of someone who knows what the weapons can do. She has sat at the tables where they were discussed. Allied ships are being sunk. Radio-guided torpedoes are being jammed. The enemy intercepts the signal and redirects the torpedo. She knows this vulnerability. She has known it for years. And she begins to think about how to solve it. Before we go further, if you are finding this story as powerful as I do, hit that subscribe button right now. Every Sunday, the History Disruptors brings you another story of how one human being changed everything. If they did, you can too. Now, let's go into what Hedy Lamarr actually invented. 1940 Hollywood. Hedy Lamarr meets composer George Antheil at a dinner party. Antheil is unconventional, creative, known for his work using 16 synchronized player pianos. They begin talking. Not about music. Not about film. About torpedoes. Lamarr explains the jamming problem to Antheil. If a radio-guided torpedo operates on a single fixed frequency, the enemy can find that frequency and jam it. The solution, she proposes, is to make the frequency move. If the transmitter and the torpedo hop between frequencies simultaneously, in a pattern too rapid and complex for the enemy to follow, the signal cannot be jammed. Antheil immediately understands. His player pianos had done something similar, synchronized complex patterns across multiple instruments simultaneously. Two minds from completely different worlds, recognizing the same principle from opposite directions. They work on it together. At her home in Hollywood. At the piano. On paper. In conversation. The synchronized frequency hopping system they develop is elegant and precise. A coordinated pattern, like a player piano roll, would synchronize the frequency changes between transmitter and receiver. The enemy cannot jam what they cannot find. On June 10, 1941, Hedy Lamarr and George Antheil file their patent application. Patent number 2,292,387. Secret Communication System. She donates the patent to the United States government. No licensing fee. No conditions. A gift to the war effort she believes in. The U.S. Navy receives it, reviews it, and sets it aside. Their documented reasoning: the mechanism is too bulky for practical use in torpedoes at this time. The patent sits unused. The patent expires in 1959. Before it expires, no compensation to Lamarr. No acknowledgment. No implementation. And then, quietly, without announcement, the principle begins appearing in military communication systems in the early 1960s. The frequency hopping principle, Lamarr and Antheil's principle, is at the center of it. Her patent has expired. She receives nothing. The technology spreads. It enters civilian communications. It becomes the foundation of secure wireless transmission. And Hedy Lamarr, still alive, still present, watches the world build itself on her invention. Without saying her name. Let us talk about what Hedy Lamarr and George Antheil actually built. The world you are living in right now. Wi-Fi, the wireless internet connection running in your home, your office, every coffee shop and airport, uses spread spectrum technology. Direct descendant of frequency hopping. Bluetooth, the wireless connection between your phone and your headphones, your car, your speakers, spread spectrum. GPS, the satellite navigation system that tells you where you are anywhere on Earth, spread spectrum principles. 4G, 5G. The mobile network carrying this video to your screen right now. Spread spectrum. Modern secure military communication, built on the frequency hopping principle she invented in Hollywood in 1941. Every wireless device on the planet. Tracing back, in a direct documented line, to a patent filed by an actress and a composer at a piano in California. In 1997, Hedy Lamarr is 82 years old. The Electronic Frontier Foundation awards her and George Antheil the Pioneer Award, recognizing their foundational contribution to the technology that built the wireless world. It is the first major public acknowledgement she has received. When she is told about the award by phone, she says simply, "It's about time." She dies January 19, 2000. She is 85 years old. In 2014, 14 years after her death, she is inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. The inventor. Not the actress. The inventor. In 2018, Austria issues a commemorative stamp bearing her image. Not in a film costume. In a laboratory coat. The world corrected its record. Slowly. Imperfectly. Incompletely. But it corrected it. Because the technology was too present, too foundational, too woven into the fabric of daily life to remain unattributed forever. Pause for a moment. Think about something you have built, an idea, a system, a solution, that the people around you have not yet fully recognized. Maybe they see you a certain way. Maybe that image of you is so fixed in their minds that what you actually carry is invisible to them. Drop a comment. Tell me what they are missing. Now let's talk about what this means for you. So what do we learn from Hedy Lamarr? 4 things. Lesson 1. What you absorb is yours. Hedy Lamarr sat at Friedrich Mandl's dinners as decoration. The men talking weapons technology around her did not think she was listening. She was listening to everything. Every environment you have ever been in, even the ones that underestimated you, even the ones that placed you at the table for the wrong reasons, has given you something. Knowledge, perspective, access to information that others didn't notice was available. Nothing you have genuinely absorbed is wasted. The question is what you do with it. Lesson 2. The label is not the limit. The most beautiful woman in the world. That label opened every door in Hollywood. And it closed the door to being taken seriously as a thinker, for decades. She invented anyway. Whatever label has been placed on you, that label describes how others have chosen to see you. It does not describe your actual capacity. Lesson 3. Give the gift anyway. LAMMAR donated her patent to the US government. No fee. No conditions. A gift. They ignored it. She gave it anyway. She did not invent frequency hopping for recognition. She invented it because there was a problem and she could see the solution. The work you do from genuine purpose, not for the credit, not for the compensation, but because you see something that needs to be built, that work lasts differently. It travels differently. Lesson 4. The world catches up. It took until 1997 for Hedy Lamarr to be publicly acknowledged for what she had built in 1941. 56 years. I am not asking you to wait 56 years. I am asking you to understand that the timeline of recognition is not the timeline of truth. What is true about your work is true right now, whether or not the world has caught up to it. Here is my challenge to you. Hedy Lamarr sat at tables where she was invisible as a mind. She listened. She learned. She left when she needed to leave. She built something extraordinary in her own time, with a collaborator who recognized what she was actually bringing to the conversation. She filed the patent. She gave the gift. She watched the world use her invention without her name. And at 82 years old, when the phone rang and someone finally said, "We know what you did," she said 3 words. It's about time. Not bitterness. Not collapse. Not "I told you so." Just the quiet satisfaction of someone who always knew the work was real. They saw the face. They missed the mind. Don't let anyone miss yours. This is the History Disruptors. Every Sunday, another story of how one human being changed everything. Franklin exposed her sample for 100 hours in a world that had decided she didn't belong there. Planck wrote an equation he didn't believe, that broke 300 years of certainty. Lamarr sat at a piano in Hollywood in 1941, invisible as a thinker to everyone in the room, and invented the wireless world you are living in right now. They all kept going when stopping made more sense. They all carried something the world wasn't ready for. They all did the work anyway. If she did, you can too.